Yo, good morning. How are you doing, chat? Hope you're having a wonderful start to a wonderful week in this wonderful homie hood. Thank you for being here so early, so brightly on a Monday morning. I'm feeling a little low on coffee today. We're gonna do our best to get woke. Get woke the only way I know how. With coffee. We got lots to talk about today, if not this week, if we don't have time. John Horgan, the former premier of British Columbia, has decided to be a coal baron. Very interesting choice for someone who was in the NDP. There are migrants who have been found dead in the St. Lawrence River in Quebec. Very concerning. Something probably a result of the closing of Roxham Road. If not a direct result, then maybe something that is an omen of things to come, as people are required to find more precarious ways of crossing the border. Good morning, Ribbert. Thanks for being here. Erin O'Toole resigned the Conservative Party. Nobody cares. And other things I might not be able to talk about today are the Vatican again. I never talked about the doctrine of discovery being repudiated. There was a January 6th moment in the Tennessee Capitol. Not really, but that's what conservatives are calling it. Some people are just demanding gun rights. Chaya Raichik had an interaction with AOC. AI is evolving way too fast. The New York Times is calling out the far left for being in defending Russia. Haven't read it yet. And Barbara Kay, a journalist, far-right journalist here in Canada, seems to be on a genocide-denying rampage. So things we're going to talk about today, if not this week. But until then, can we just relax? Good morning, Lady Deathstrike. I haven't heard much about this except on Twitter. If you have any links. Okay, I did see that just now. I didn't save the link though, so if you have any links about this, we can definitely talk about it. Yeah, that's what I heard. So that is hilarious. Dina is everywhere, everything everywhere, all at once, wherever she needs to be. That's where she is. Wherever Convite tires are in need of slashing, she'll be there. Wherever far right faces are in need of bashing with a big megaphone, or sorry, a little megaphone, she'll be there. Yeah, I saw that she dressed up as a belly dancer. Is this what happened? Now they're gonna be so suspicious of like everyone. Everyone is Dina in costume. She really is living in their head rent free. Hey, good morning, Antifa Squirrel. Had a great weekend. Hope you had a great weekend as well. Is that my Twitter face? Do I look angry? I think I'm just reading. I think when I'm reading, I just like squint my eyes a bit. So maybe I look a bit angrier. But I'm all good. I'm not really on Twitter. Just looking at reactions. You look concerned? Well, I am concerned. There's a lot to be concerned about. Had a great weekend though. Hope everyone else had a great weekend.
Joe Reed.
Hey, good morning, Augustus. Hey, good morning, inappropriate innuendo. Hope you are doing well. Oh wow, it's almost 9 o'clock. Just reading up on this story about the women's college basketball. It is so funny. I don't know if y'all heard about this, but conservatives will lose their mind over literally anything. Hey, good morning, my Martin. My homie to Martin, 2023. This is actually not a transgender story for women's sports for once. It's actually just a regular misogynistic story. We're reminiscing on simpler times when there was just misogyny in sports and not blatant transphobia. Before we get into it, I have to go to the washroom. So apologies, but I will be back in a moment. Apologies for having a bladder. Alright. We are ready to roll. Ready to go. Good morning, everyone. My goodness, we already have 10 folks here. Thanks for being here. There's always so much to talk about on Mondays. But tell me how you're doing, please. I think I've got all my stories ready for today, except for whatever happened over the weekend with Drag Story Time. I'm hoping that somebody can link us the footage and let us know where we need to be. Yeah, I've missed it too. I mean, I saw like a bit on Birdsite, but I've missed the story of it all. I just I don't know. I feel like apparently it was a really rough weekend. Like maybe instead of like the normal 10-to-1 ratio or sometimes 100-to-1, it was more of a 50-50. So that must have been hard for the drag defenders. I saw Joe Morin had some blood drawn. I'm not sure why. Something to do with a fall. I'm not sure what caused the fall or something. Yeah. So it's hard. That sucks. It does suck. Is this the one where a flag was stolen? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It was in Toronto. Or maybe it was in BC. I don't know. That's the thing. I have not been following it. It seems like there were many incidents of drag story time and protests. I think Dina and Joe went to the one in Quebec. But there were also, now that Dina has dressed up as a belly dancer, they're paranoid that Dina is everyone. Like anyone dressed up as a woman might be Dina. So they're on like high alert. Dina, it could be in BC and Toronto and Quebec. She's everywhere. Just everywhere. Wait, what? Oh my goodness. Yeah. All right. We need Dina or Joe here to tell us what we need to watch. I don't even know where this picture is. I had a busy weekend, so I'm out of the loop. Yeah, it was, I guess, a lot. So, I don't know. I don't know where to find these photos. They're probably all sleeping because they had such a busy weekend. I'd be also asleep. All right. Vancouver police investigating assaults. Oh, okay. That was the one in BC with that woman who got assaulted. Okay. I did see that video of that happening. Okay, let's try to piece this together here. Vancouver police trans rights. Okay, Vancouver trans rally. Okay, this is what I got. This seems to be an ally posting this video, so let's take a look. The title makes me think that it's an ally. So because it says Vancouver trans rally turns violent and police do nothing. Presumably they're on the side of the trans people.
Why do you think they're getting that kind of representation? I mean, it's clearly was aggressive, violent assault.
You suck. Fuck you. Fuck you. You're not wanted. Fuck you. You're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking.
I don't know
idiot.
what to say.
Fuck
I guess
you.
these police officers
Fuck
are mostly
you
indoctrinated
hate
as well.
Everyone here.
Okay, wait, maybe not. This seems like I can't tell. I can't tell whose side who's on whose side here.
They're afraid of the mob.
Because you're a
I
fucking
think
idiot.
I think they're afraid that if they do anything to actually keep law and order,
Fuck you.
that
Fuck you.
they'll end up being on the end of this verbal abuse.
Oh no, verbal abuse. It's called freedom, bitch.
So it's just cowardice from everybody all around.
People probably want to know, how do you keep your composure?
What's that?
How do you keep your composure?
Nothing.
I like that he's scared. Okay, so it escalates very quickly.
My dog.
The police are so useless. They just come in right after. Okay, so that's the thing. If you slow this down, which we can right here, and there are better angles that I've already seen, you can see that he actually grabs her before things escalate. He grabs her by like the neck, or at least where her clothing is on her neck. Okay, see right there. He's grabbed her first. He couldn't deal with everyone telling him to fuck off, so he escalated things. And then he fucked around and he found out. And he got his butt whooped. There he went flying onto the ground. He really got spun around. And then the police are like, "Hey, maybe we should do something." Of course they should have. I mean, it looks like maybe some of them are going to the man. We don't know. They should be going to arrest him. They might just be going to help him off the ground. It is like impossible to tell what side the police are on. So yeah. Okay. Oh, they helped him back up to his feet by the looks of it. Yep. The police are all surrounding the drag defenders, and not the guy who initiated the assault. You don't say. Who is this Julie Scott? Independent Canadian political commentator. 15-minute cities. Are they based? Or are they rad lib? Let's see. They have a President Biden. I applaud China for stepping. Excuse me, I mean Canada. Okay. Yeah, I saw that moment too. Let's get a read here. I'm so curious about them. Let's see. Maybe they just have a Twitter. Sometimes it's easier to tell somebody's political identity just by looking at their Twitter for like 2 seconds. Julie Scott. What? So maybe they're anti-woke? Right? Is this the same person? Julie Scott. Julie Scott. That's the same person, right? Yeah. All right, they're anti-woke. They're Canadians first, proudly Christian, anti-woke, and anti-war. Anti-woke and war. I don't know. There's a confusion here if they are anti-woke and also anti-war or they're pro-war? This semantics doesn't quite tell us. So wait, this is okay, so she's just using this. Oh, I see. So she's not like me where she's making fun of Biden about like saying China instead of Canada. She literally probably thinks that like this is a conspiracy that China is has already taken over Canada. Anyone who explicitly uses the word woke in that way is showing their whole ass. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Apparently there was a moment of Pierre Poilievre did an excellent job defining woke very, very quickly. So let's actually find that. Pierre Poilievre woke. Pierre Poilievre was asked if he would backtrack and apologize and also define the word woke. Okay, so conservatives are losing their mind over this because they're like, obviously because there was all this like stuff about people not being able to define woke. They probably were ready. So this is probably another conservatives. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is the director of communications who's probably like has a history of like being like a neo-Nazi or something. I forget what's going on there. So let's see. We could try to find this on the CPAC. Or we could accidentally give her views. I guess we kind of need her in for the moment, unless someone else got this. Tell the woke censors to keep their hands off the internet. Pierre Poilievre. Okay, he's doing it in French. Wow, Pierre Poilievre is asked to define woke. Everyone's getting on this. All right, who should we give the views? The thing is, we know what all these conservative types mean when they say woke. They just suck and no one likes it, so they don't want to admit how unpopular their views on treating other people are. Yeah, exactly. Everyone knows what woke is, right? Like, and depending on how you use it, you probably just you could be meaning anything from being socially aware about issues that African American people face in North America, or it could just mean like liberals, depending like on how you're using it. So very, very interesting. I guess Pierre Poilievre has a take.
And I wonder if you would like to kind of backtrack or apologize on characterizing the CRTC as a small group of privileged insiders closest to the Prime Minister. And I would also ask him if he would like to define the word woke.
Okay, so this was stupid. They should have never asked Pierre Poilievre to define woke, because it really it's fun when it was on Rising, and that woman, whatever, choked up and didn't know how to define it. But this is the House of Commons, like asking Pierre Poilievre to define woke, like, come on, you have to think that he's got a comeback for that, like in his back pocket. Like it's just really bad political instincts, like to basically stoop down to this level of like, let's talk about the word woke. You know, if you were gonna do it in a tweet. Don't do it in the House. Like, you can dunk on Pierre Poilievre in a tweet, but like to do it in this way is just like you're basically just feeding the beast, you know? And obviously that's what's happened, is that no matter what Pierre Poilievre said, even if he choked up and didn't know how to define woke, conservatives would have found a way to make this go viral.
I asked one of his colleagues as well for that definition, and I'd like to see what he has to say. Thank you.
I don't care what he has to say. He's
actually, I will backtrack. It is a big group of insiders, Madam Speaker. It is a big, sprawling bureaucracy with far too many people working for it. There will be less people working for the CRTC when I'm Prime Minister, because they'll have less power and they'll have a hell of a lot less to do when I restore freedom of speech and freedom of expression online and on.
So yeah, there. Like, this is why this is a whole really stupid line of reasoning.
The internet.
You can so easily just like backflip over this, you know.
And as for the definition of woke, woke has one purpose, only one purpose. Plenty of pretexts, but only one purpose: control.
Wait, he didn't define it.
It is designed to divide people by race, by gender, by ethnicity.
Okay, but he didn't define it. Saying what something's function is, and I mean this is not the function of the word woke, is different than its definition.
By religion, by vaccine status, and any other way that they can divide people into groups. Because why? Then you can justify having a government to control all those groups. No more woke. We need freedom.
No more woke, we need freedom. Okay, actually, he is an idiot. But I mean, again, people who follow Pierre Poilievre are also idiots. So it's really easy for them to just like, they're like, wow, this was a slam dunk. And it's like, actually, it was really pretty stupid. You know, so we don't need woke, we need freedom. Sadly, like, we're going to probably be hearing this phrase for way too long. One might even argue that the original usage of the word woke was so that black people in North America could advocate for more freedom. He probably doesn't see race either. It's possible, yeah. It's just like really weird because the actual thing that is categorizing things by race, gender, in ethnicity, religion, vaccine status, and doing those categorizations as a way to control people is not wokeness. It is white supremacy and colonization. That's the thing that desires to control you by your gender, ethnicity, race, religion, and put people into groups. You know, it's not wokeness. Actually, it's quite the opposite. Wokeness, if we are to accept that it's even a real thing, is a way to decolonize and to recategorize everyone in a way that is more equitable and affirms justice through these systems of colonization and white supremacy that have oppressed us. I've been thinking so much lately that we are all victims of colonization in a way, right? Like including white people in Canada. You know, like it is kind of no better example than like the green belt, right? Like white people are like, hey, we need to protect the green belt, and they can't. They don't have the power, and it's like, hey, this is kind of what First Nations peoples have been telling us. Like they've been trying to protect their land and they've been incapable of doing it. And now we're trying to protect this land also, and we're also incapable of doing it. It's almost like by not standing up for those First Nations peoples, we've enabled this system that at any moment can turn its gaze upon us. And we will suddenly understand the power of that machine and how powerless we are to change its course, right? It's almost like it's kind of reminiscent of the Israel situation right now, right? They the people of Israel, they have fed into this beast that is a believer in apartheid, a believer in separating people by their race. They've enabled this system of fascism, and they've chosen to put Palestinian people into a dictatorship that is controlled by Israel. And now that system is being hijacked, and those tendencies of colonization and supremacy of one racial group over another, and fascism and dictatorship have turned upon the people of Israel. And the people of Israel have been protesting for 13 straight weeks. Because Netanyahu has turned the power and the tendencies that he relies on towards the people of Israel. And suddenly the people of Israel are like, oh my goodness, we need to fight back. We need to fight back against this. It's like, yeah, where were you when these exact same systems of oppression were being turned upon the people of Palestine? How come there was not 13 weeks of protest then? How come there's not this looming general strike then? Right? I think Mehdi Hassan had a good take on this. Let's see. Somebody did. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Maybe I'm thinking of, what is his name? Hassan. Not Hassan Abi. I don't know. Crap, I'm forgetting their name. One of the political pundits. But yeah, it's basically the same situation in Canada, right? Like we've allowed this system of colonization to exist because it didn't affect us. But there's nothing protecting us. Other than like our race and our privilege, there's nothing protecting us. But it's not really about race or privilege. Those are just illusions, right? Those are things that like make us like feel safe at night because, oh, the state will never turn its gaze upon us because we're privileged white folks. And then it's like, oh, wait, it doesn't care about those things. Those things were just actually a means to an end. And the end is just about colonization and exploitation. And you know, they like those protections will not protect us because they're not actually like real things. You know, they're social constructs that are meant to divide and oppress us. Free Palestine is a land back issue, for sure. I mean, it's quite a confusing issue. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, a lot of progressives even now advocate for a two-state solution, which is kind of like a last resort when it comes to issues like this, because obviously living in a homogeneous society is preferable, but the way things are, it might just be better to have a two-state solution, and that's kind of sad and disappointing. What else is going on? Anything else we should talk about before we dig into the news? I wanted to learn more about Barbara Kay before we covered that story this week. Barbara Kay is a horrible person, apparently. They've just popped up onto my radar. But I'm going to read up about them. Something to do with their son as well. Like their son is a piece of shit. She's a piece of shit. There's intergenerational pieces of shit running through their blood. She runs a residential school denial website. Right. That's like why everyone is talking about her right now. All I know is that she's a Jewish person who wants to deny genocide for residential school survivors. And it's a very odd, and I guess like she falls back on that, hey, I can't be a genocide denier. I'm a survivor of, like, I'm the descendants of Holocaust survivors. It's like, okay. Yeah, actually, you there are other genocides. So I don't know if we'll get to that story today, cuz I just want to like read more about her. Um and kind of like think about how we're going to cover that story. There's a really sad story. I actually we should maybe try to find some more resources on this about the migrants of the St. Lawrence River. Which is potentially a direct result of Roxham Road closing. Let's see if the CBC has anything on it. Some of my videos did really well over the weekend. I'm really happy about the YouTube. Okay, quite a few stories from the CBC here. Um But yeah, I was really happy with how some of my videos did. Of course, the Donald Trump video got like 700 views. Um, Typical American content performing better than any of my Canadian content. But I was really happy actually because one of the videos that I felt was like most important, um, this story here about the Neskantaga First Nation calling out Doug Ford in Parliament. Um, this story actually did like really well on my YouTube. With 245 views. So I was excited to see that. I'm not entirely sure why it did so well, but I'm glad that it did. Um and I thought my Pierre Poilievre video was going to do better as well because of how funny it was of him saying big tip cat dick all over and over again. But that's how it goes. People would rather hear about Donald Trump getting arrested. But it was fun. It was fun to make a little YouTube short out of that as well. So, you know, we're just sallying forth. Sallying forth. I think I'm realizing too, like, YouTube will only push my content so far. Because of the size of my channel. Like it's pretty good. It tries to help you grow your channel, but it doesn't like push it as if it's like bigger than it is, you know? So, which is like fair enough. But I do feel like the YouTube algorithm does encourage you to like grow if your content is good. And I feel like our content is getting better. So, I feel very encouraged by the whole process. All right, I'm out of coffee, which means we need to start. We need to start talking about the news. I thought we should change the settings so that, because we had so many trolls last week. I thought to do followers only chat for. I wish you could do it even just for 5 minutes. Can do it for 10 minutes though. Maybe that will just like avoid people coming in as we start a story and like derailing, you know? So we'll try that. Maybe it will be a more pleasant experience this week with the amount of trolls that we've been getting. Turn off sound alerts. Yeah, that is true. I need to just fix them all around. I'll figure it out sometime this week. I need to update them so they're not Spider-Man anymore. There's some really cute GIFs that I want to make. The problem is I have to make them from like Studio Ghibli movies because I want like really specific GIFs. So I just need to put in some time. Okay. There is a really sad story coming out of Quebec / New York, something that is happening along the St. Lawrence River. 8 migrants have been found dead, and the search for the alleged human smuggler continues. So this is something that people are bringing attention to because of the closing of Roxham Road. Now, if you don't know, Roxham Road is a quote-unquote irregular entry point for migrants between the U.S. and Canada. It acts as a two-way street, as streets tend to, and it has long been considered a very safe way to cross the Canadian-American border. Now, last week, just over a week now, Justin Trudeau and Joseph Biden, our respective leaders, decided without very much warning to close Roxham Road. And the problem with that is that it is, yes, an irregular border crossing, but it was considered safe. So by closing it, you are essentially telling people to choose other irregular border crossings and ones obviously that are less safe. The reason Roxham Road was popular was because people felt comfortable crossing there, and now, which is now because of a trend that we're seeing in the UK and now Canada as well, people decide to cross over water, which is obviously a lot less safe because there's the potential that you can drown. And that's what happened in this situation. They were crossing over water, and the weather got really bad, and unfortunately I think the death toll is up to 8 people, and 2 of those people are really young kids, and it's essentially, I think, 2 families that have been fallen victim to this unfortunate situation. So there's a woman here who is saying that she heard the screams coming from the water as people were, I suppose, dying. I called the police and said, "I need help. There are people screaming for help on the water," she said in an interview Sunday. When officers arrived, they looked at the water using flashlights and then left after a few minutes, she said. Police have identified 2 of the victims, a man named Florin Iordache and a woman named Christina Mona Lisa Zenaida Iordache, both 28 years old. Mr. Iordach was carrying Canadian passports for 2 children, a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old, who were also found dead. So really unfortunate. You know, you hate to hear these stories, and you especially hate to hear them when there's young children involved. So this family, they were applying for a judicial review of a pre-removal risk assessment, a process where someone facing removal can argue why their lives would be in danger if they're removed from Canada. And I guess they were tied up in this process. There are people who go by their names who were apparently a part of this process. However, this report has not been able to confirm that they are the exact people, but there are people who share their names who were in the system trying to go through this process. So most likely it is them, but it is unconfirmed. And now, so they are searching for the person who they believe to be the human smuggler. Now, I don't really like that word, human smuggler, because this is probably somebody and who is kind of just thought that they were doing a good thing, you know, helping people get to where they wanted to be. However, now they are on the run for human smuggling, and essentially being part of this really, really sad story, you know. Now we nobody really knows to what extent that this person was involved, or why they were not successful in crossing the border. But they are looking for this person here, Casey Oakes. They have talked to his friends and relatives, and they say that, you know, he enjoyed doing this work and he felt that he was helping people. So I'm sure he's probably as upset as any of us, if not more so, as to why or how this went wrong. Akwesasne Mohawk Police Chief Sean DeLude acknowledged at a news conference Friday that the service received 2 calls about shouting near the river. So the first call, they were not the only one who called the police and said, "Hey, I can hear people screaming." There was another call. The police chief is saying these were not calls of distress of people screaming for help, he said. It could have been inebriated kids outside. It was nothing out of the norm. Which I say, that sounds like a really pathetic excuse, you know? The woman who wants to affirm, one of the women who called the police, she said that, "Why would I call if I heard kids playing?" As goes for the 2 other women from our community who also called when they heard the screams for help. Why didn't they call the fire department, search and rescue? Because yes, these are lives that could have been saved. You know, if people are drowning, you know, you have a short window as to when they can save them and potentially resuscitate them. But the police just came, took a look with some flashlights, didn't find anything, and just went away. They didn't take it as seriously as they could have. When this person who called the police, she said, when they found out that the people had died, she said, "I was hurt. I was crushed when I learned there were children, innocent babies." And maybe not with water this cold. Yeah, I guess it is really cold, but still, they basically waited for the bodies to wash up on shore instead of actively trying to find them, you know? So police definitely could have done more. And when something like this is happening, you know, the entire community, including the fire department and the paramedics, should be rallying in order to try to save these lives, you know? Even if one of the 8 people could have been saved, it would have been worth it. Mr. DeLude said that since January, police have made 48 separate interceptions involving 80 people trying to enter the United States without authorization. So, like, they know, they do know what's going on. These incidents are not uncommon. So when somebody calls in and saying, and says, "Hey, I'm hearing people screaming in the water," they shouldn't think, "Oh, it's probably just drunk kids." You know, like it's especially to blame it on like drunk teenagers. That's like really kind of just, I think, a neglect of, hey, yeah, you have a job to do. You can't just be like, it's probably just kids. You know, you have to go and do your due diligence. It's really hard because we understand there are immigrants who just want a better life, and to have something so tragic happen, it's not fair, said Valine Gray, the owner of the Three Feathers Internet Cafe in New York. And this is crazy. The best insight that we're getting here is from a woman who owns a cafe in New York and has been helping the first responders, been serving the first responders, providing meals for them as they now search for the what are surely dead bodies of people who just wanted a better life by crossing the border one way or another. So the only great insight we're getting here, the only kind of like human response of like, it's so sad and so tragic and these people just wanted a better life, is from Valine Gray, the owner of a internet cafe. And it's like, how come we're not hearing as empathetic a response from the police? We're hearing it just from people who are trying their best to help. I don't know. It's really disheartening. How come we're not hearing a more empathetic response from like Justin Trudeau and Joe Biden? And how come we're not hearing more from politicians who have worked to close Roxham Road? Now, people who are involved with immigration in Canada are saying that, hey, this is a red flag. This is an omen of things to come. By closing Roxham Road, you're encouraging this behavior. You're encouraging more irregular and more dangerous border crossings. And there's going to be more stories like this. So this is essentially the blood that is on Justin Trudeau and Joe Biden's hands by closing Roxham Road and giving in to the conservative pressure of people like François Legault, the premier of Quebec, and Pierre Poilievre, the leader of the conservative opposition. So there is a little CBC story here. This is the latest update from one day ago. I haven't watched it, but it might be worth maybe getting a couple more details here.
We're learning more about the bodies of 8 people recovered from the St. Lawrence River on the Canada-U.S. border. Police have identified 2 of the people believed to have drowned while attempting to unofficially cross the border into New York State. Katie Nicholson is in the nearby community of Aguwasne with the latest.
As the search in and around the St. Lawrence River continued into its 3rd day, the people of Aguwasne pulled together. Like Val Gray, whose cafe made breakfast for the recovery teams. She says the
Okay, here's Val Gray.
Community is haunted by the tragedy.
I find it's very emotional because it's, like it's something you don't expect that happens in the community. Like it's something that's not normal, like to have so many deaths from the river. The children, like that's the hardest part because I have children. I'm sorry.
So far, police confirm 8 people from 2 families were pulled from the river. 4 members of a family who are Indian nationals, including a man in his 50s and a woman and man in their 20s. An Indian police source says they are from Gujarat, the same state in India as the family who died trying to cross the Manitoba-U.S. border in 2022. The others, Romanian nationals who had an infant and a toddler with Canadian passports. Teams continue to search for Casey Oakes, whose capsized boat was found near the recovered bodies. A community member, he is considered a person of interest in the investigation. These shores have a long history of smuggling dating back to the Prohibition, says Alex Burns, who lives along the riverbank. Aguwasne's geography, network of islands and tributaries, and position along the zigzagging border make it ideal for crossings and hard for Border Patrol to track.
You can't see at night. I go around here when you're driving in the rain. It's pitch black down here. They call this the jungle. It's a snide area because it gets so freaking dark here.
Today, a darkness hangs over the community, and people here say they feel the weight of this tragedy, and that is why they're trying to help one another in any way they can to heal. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Aguasasne.
So yeah, it's really shocking to me and strange also to me that, you know, this trauma essentially of having to mourn people who are trying to find a better life in Canada is essentially coming down to people who are part of the Akwesasne First Nation, and it's just very disheartening to see that this systemic problem that is being caused by the people in power in Canada, the politicians, the burden of their actions is on the people of the Mohawk First Nation. And it's just like another thing that is can kind of be ignored by people like Justin Trudeau and Joe Biden, who have chosen this action against migrants and against safe border crossing. All right, we got a bit of an update here from Joe in our Discord. Oh, there's Joe right now. Dropped a note in Discord about the weekend. Yeah. I guess I'm quite unaware about Jason Lafache. His name is literally Lafache, which is French for the fash. I guess this national campaign started. It's like what, national shutdown or something like that. Very strange. And yeah, Dina dressed up. She was belly dancing to Milkshake. Like, my milkshake brings all the girls to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours. So sorry to hear, Joe, that you got pepper sprayed and you had a fall. That really sucks, man. Who had pepper spray? The cops? Or the fash? All right, Joe may have already left us. I don't know. But thank you for sharing in our Discord. Hey, good morning, Purple Mavis. I hope you are well. Yeah, sorry to hear about your phone too.
Got to try and take it easy till I get back to normal.
Indo-European. Okay. Brace yourself. Also, thanks for being a first-time follower, Indo-European. We've had some trolls lately, so apologies in advance if our guard is up. There seems to be a trend of somebody who wants to enjoys using the word Eurasian. So the fact that your name is Indo-European, yeah, basically it is. Yeah, is that like Eurasia? Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I think the person who's trying to troll us thinks that the word Eurasia is like some insulting thing. But it's like, it's just a normal, real thing. It's just it's just referring to two different continents. Yeah, likely it refers to a language group. Yeah, I know. But I think that, like, whoever's trolling us thinks that, like, I'm Eurasian because I'm, like, of European and Asian descent. So they're just, like, trying to, like, trigger me with this word. Which is like, okay, I guess I'm triggered. I'm so triggered. It's like, if you just Google Eurasia, it's just like a normal word. So how do you see when someone's account is created? Mod sandbag mode is on. Yeah. Good stuff. I know there's a way to see when their account was created, right? Oh, you click on their name in chat? Okay, right, but they're not in chat yet. All right, well, I guess we'll find out soon. It's true though. I am Eurasian. Not only am I Eurasian, I'm your homie. Tutaro. I put it so you have to wait 10 minutes after following to say hi. So we have a 10-minute window of figuring out what Indo-European is all about. who but also who would make their username Indo-European? Like, let's see. What if we do at... Oh, they're not even in chat anymore. They've already left. I feel like you would, like, if you were Eurasian, would you make your name, your username, Indo-European? It's just like immediately very, very sus. But we thank you, trolls. It could be, but pretty unlikely. I don't know. Well, we appreciate the trolls. We appreciate the trolls. Like, the fact that they're willing to wake up early on a Monday morning and, like, they're just like, okay, time to get to work. Time to get to work. I gotta do my trolling today. It's like you gotta give them credit, you know? Like they're working just as hard as me, and I'm working really hard. Should we take a moment here and talk about John Horgan, the former premier? That troll said once they were in Vegas, so they're up really late, probably. True. You think they're waking up on West Coast time? Like, you think it's like 7 o'clock a.m.? They wake up and their first thing is like, I need to troll my homie Tutaro. That's so sad, man. That is so sad. Like, I'm not even like a big account. I've had like just going to bed. True. You think they're up late? They've been up late doing cocaine and gambling at the Vegas casinos. And they're like, all right, now that I've safely paid for the escort to get me home safely, I can troll my homie Tutaro before bed. just one more line of cocaine and I'll troll homie Tutaro, then go to bed. All right. The funny thing is, though, if there are, like, let's face it, there's 13 people here. There's got to be at least like 2 trolls, right? And then they're not subscribing, so they're watching ads. So they're literally making money. They're making me money just by like lurking around and watching ads. That's so funny. That is what really makes me happy, is that like they think they're bothering me, but really they're making me money. They hate me so much that they want to give me like 10 cents. 10 cents every half hour. All right. Former BC Premier John Horgan has joined the board of a coal business, which is shocking, very bizarre news. Here is John Horgan right here. I guess he's like, hey, you know what would be a good look? If I sat in like a stereotypically evil chair. You know what would make me less evil? Sitting on a super evil villain chair. Okay. So this is a super bizarre move from the former premier of British Columbia. He is affiliated with the NDP party, and it seems that now that he is moving on, he's intent on tarnishing his good name and bringing the NDP down with it. It was just the other day on this past weekend when I was saying that, hey, the reason I don't support the NDP is because of the BC NDP and how they basically just have shown that they're another colonizer party. They're willing to send the RCMP into unceded Wet'suwet'en territory, and they don't really care about progressive issues. They're just another party who falls under the neoliberal machine. And this could not be a more clear example of that happening. So former British Columbia Premier John Horgan is taking a job in the coal industry and says he is not worried about the criticism the move may draw. basically John give zero fucks Horgan here coming in and being like, I don't even care about the optics anymore. It's like, okay. You know, the one thing I will say about John Horgan is that he is a cancer survivor, just like myself. And that's partly why he had to step away from politics, is because he was undergoing cancer treatment and was not in the best of health and maybe could not fulfill his duties. And to that, I sympathize with him. But then I also think, shouldn't surviving cancer give him like more empathy, a more humanist approach? Like it certainly has for myself. And isn't global warming and contributing to global warming going to have like negative health outcomes for a lot of people in the world? It might not necessarily be cancer, but I think for me, you know, I've really kind of felt like, hey, life is limited, life is precious. I better spend it doing what is like really important and advocating for systems that are going to result in positive outcomes. So John Horgan here having a different kind of realization, maybe, that he has to make as much money as possible before he dies, at the expense of the environment and the people who have to work in this industry and might get cancer or other health conditions as a result. The new business will focus on producing coal to make steel. Now, a lot of people here are saying, well, it's a certain type of coal that is used in steel production, and therefore it's more ethical. It's not like they're shoveling steel into a locomotive and just like shooting the fumes of coal into the air or anything. But we're gonna get to that in a moment, and we're gonna see if like this is like a true thing. So John Horgan here, giving zero fucks, says, I've got other things that I'm going to be working on that may be more to the taste of those who would kick up some dust. But the people that are kicking up dust oftentimes kick it up for the sake of kicking it up, Mr. Horgan said in an interview. So absolutely like amazing that this man is a politician, and this is how he is able to orate and conduct his amazing rhetorical skills here. Kicking up dust, oftentimes kick it up for the sake of kicking it up. Okay, yes, that is often true, but I think in this case they're kicking it up to say, hey, look how hypocritical the NDP is. Look at how the NDP is really no different than any other of the mainstream Canadian parties. That's kind of the big takeaway from people kicking up dust in this case. I don't have a lot of time anymore. None, in fact, for public comment on my worldview or what I am doing with my time. I don't want to be snippy about it, but there are others that are making policy decisions. So he's basically like, why was this man ever a politician if he doesn't even care what the optics are? And really, it's kind of funny because he's really throwing David Eby, the now NDP premier, who is basically very aligned with John Horgan, and they made a concerted effort to actually make sure that David Eby was crowned the new emperor / premier of British Columbia. They went as far as, some say, rigging the election so that David Eby was the only person in the race. Mr. Horgan remained an MLA until Friday. So yeah, this is all like happening on April Fool's. It seems like it could be an April Fool's joke, but it's not. So on Friday, which was March 31st, he finished as the MLA, and it seemed like by the end of the day, he was already working in the coal industry, which is also another thing we can highlight here, that, there's a revolving door between like politicians and higher ups in these resource extraction corporations. And it's, it's not something that has been unknown to the public, but it is amazing to see such a blatant example happening here. He conceded there may be a knee-jerk reaction to his move to coal, but he noted there's a difference between coal used to make electricity and coal used for metallurgy. There seems to be some potential that he's like pretending to be like an alchemist here, like he's going to turn coal into gold and use it to power cars or something. I don't know, but he doesn't know really what he's talking about. This is kind of like a misdirection. While there are better ways to generate electricity, he said, there are not better ways to make steel. But that doesn't mean that you have to be on the board of a coal mining company. Like, you know, like just because something isn't as bad as other things, which might not even be true, it doesn't mean like, oh, you have to be part of it. You know, it's like, it would be like, hey, I would never be the lawyer for the KKK, but I would maybe be a lawyer for like a known white supremacist terrorist. Like it's just like okay, just because it's not the worst thing, it doesn't make it okay that it's like still a really, 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 really bad thing. You know, it's like so we have Charlie Angus here, who is currently an MP with the NDP, and he is calling out John Horgan. John Horgan says there may be a knee-jerk reaction to him joining the board of a coal company, cashing in as the planet burns. So this is what we want to see. It's been too long of the NDP not calling out their own when they're engaged in this super neoliberal activity, which there could not be a more clear example of here and in the Wet'suwet'en unceded territory. Charlie Angus links this article underneath that says, double the climate impact of methane from metallurgical coal in steel production. So this excuse that John Horgan is using is that, oh, it's metallurgical coal, it's not as bad. It's actually not true. In some cases, and when it comes to methane, it's twice as bad. So really empty excuse that John Horgan has here. For the underground mines which continue operating, methane mitigation technologies are readily available. Plugging methane leaks is essential, says the report. It states highly polluting coal seems, I guess those are like the veins of coal, I don't know, must remain unmined, as some metallurgical coal is so gassy it can double a batch of steel's warming effect. So, in John Horgan's defense, he is also very gassy. So maybe something just about metallurgical coal has attracted to him. He's like, you know, I'm gassy, you're gassy. Let's be gassy together. And it is safe to say that John Horgan himself will be a top producer of methane into the British Columbia atmosphere. There's a really funny picture here of John Horgan as a 19th century coal miner holding a lump of coal. You know, I'm not really a fan of AI art. I think it's super evil, but there are some applications for it that I think are quite entertaining. And I would say that this is one of them. A lot of like Canadian figures have been put onto this on this Twitter account who does AI. Of course, we've heard nothing from David Eby himself, basically staying out of this, as politicians are known to do when there's an obvious contradiction as to what their party stands for. But it is nice to see Charlie Angus covering it out. David Eby, you know, being a coward here, and probably once upon a time he might have called this out when he was not a politician, but he is one now, and it's maybe more expedient for him to say nothing. A six-fingered man? Oh, is it? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there looks like there's 6 fingers and a thumb, or 5 fingers and a thumb. Yeah, look at this. This handwork is really bad. You know, which tends to be the case with AI. So, you know, it's really disgusting to see. John Horgan, previously, I had it here somewhere, was the mining and energy critic for the BC New Democrats before they held any power, before he became premier. So it's like really weird that he would then turn around after being the premier and join the party. Join the party of coal production and extraction. It's really, really weird. I don't need the light to be shown on me. I just want to do my level best to improve outcomes for everyone around me. Yes, but the problem, John, is that you've surrounded yourself with people who are interested in burning coal and contributing to the environmental crisis that we're facing. That means collaboration and following the leadership that knows better than I, at this point, how to deal with some of the challenges ahead. So he's basically saying here he's not a leader. And he's looking to the experts, whether they're the ones who are part of this corporation that he's joining, or people like, I guess, David Eby, who is the new premier of British Columbia, who is basically the exact same political identity as John Horgan. He is the establishment pick. They basically drafted him as the new premier of British Columbia. So John Horgan here making this admission. I think this is one of the stupidest thing I've ever seen a politician say, saying that I'm not a leader. It's like, bruh, you were the premier. You were the premier. How can you say that you're not a leader? And now you are just in bed with coal barons, and you're willing to go against everything that you once even had the kindness to virtue signal that you cared about. Hands are hard to draw. It is true. It is very, very true. Apparently AI has a lot of problems. I still can't get over this picture. Like, look at this. He's like, hey, you know what would be less evil? If I sat in an egg-shaped chair. It's like Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget. It's like live footage here of John Horgan. Oh, what the hell? Stroking his like cat that it needs to feel coal. It looks like a big red coffin. Yeah. It's like, and it's red. I know. Like, it's like, it makes you think of like evil. And then if he's wearing like a peace pin, it's like, okay, wow. This man does not care about peace. Yeah, it could be like a vampire's coffin, it just like it like, this is how he pops up, he can probably recline all the way back in the coffin. Just be like, you rang, it's Dr. Claw. It's literally Dr. Claw, except he's not as big of a coward as Dr. Claw, because he's willing to actually show his face. Hey, we have 365 followers on Twitch. That's like one follower for every day. Every day of the week. I mean, every day of the year. You love that show? Same. I loved Inspector Gadget so much. Go, go. gadget arms. We got one more story today. Try to do 3 stories a day. Try to do 3 stories well a day. I feel like that's a good target, you know? It's good to do like a little more on Mondays as well. I've been trying to get in the habit of scheduling content in the morning. Like I'll release a YouTube video in the morning around the time that we start stream. Just so people wake up and they think, oh, my homie Tsutaro probably streaming right now. Yeah. Y'all also I have some homie with coffee. That's right. Have some homie with your coffee. Not that artificial sweetener. Anti-fascism is a dead horse, and I've been beating her. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just playing, parlaying on the microphone, slaying. Please remember the name, man. Shout out to Joe Morin. Sorry that you got pepper sprayed, but I hope that you gave it your all. Holla or hola, I don't really know. Just trying to be the real rock and roller. I'm glad it was minor. It's like John Horgan as a minor, getting that coal. I'm just trying to reach another Ko-Fi goal. Last week we smashed it, and I'm so glad to be here on this planet. I'm so sorry to hear that, Joe. Really, it should be Joe in the morning, but it's a homie in the morning instead. Speaking of smashed, true, your hand got it. And your phone got it. Ouch. Getting the phone fixed today. Yeah, at least hopefully it's not too much, right? It looks like it might have just been screen damage. Only $40. Nice. I never pay for the warranty, but I'm glad that it's serving you in this case. Yeah, for sure. I guess if I did what you did, I probably would get it. That's for real. Sucking up to big. I just want to take a moment to shamelessly self-promote myself. Because I added these homies checklist to help me make YouTube partner. the best way you can help me is by subscribing on YouTube, liking the video. This is probably a really important one, watching the whole video, or at least as much as you can, you know. The viewer retention is something that really, I think, gets the algorithm to help push my content. If YouTube is like, oh, people are watching this for a long time, they're more likely to suggest it to other people. Ringing the bell if you want to. Like personally, I'm not a fan of notifications, but if you want to, it probably helps. Sharing a video that you like on socials, like this is actually also a huge impact. Just one share can often get like a bunch of new people interested in the channel or watching a video, you know. It actually really helps to share stuff. And the last one is asking other people if you think they might be interested in the content that I create. Obviously, no point just like asking people who are not interested in this type of thing, but if they are, you can always ask them to like help me out and subscribe. We have 286 subscribers, which I'm really proud of because I feel like it's been a long journey, and we are getting there slowly. And I need 1,000. I need 1,000 in order to monetize my YouTube channel and make YouTube Partner, and it would just mean that I could make money from doing what I'm already doing. And you know, my mom could stop bugging my wife and being like, is your husband making any money? You know, although my family is really supportive as well, but it is just like a bit of a joke, you know. It would be nice. And I felt like last week was amazing. I made almost $100 last week from the donations, and that is like really, really encouraging. You know, it feels like maybe I'm at a point where like people are realizing that I'm taking it really seriously, and like I'm really going for it, you know. I think about it every day, even on the weekend. You know, I think about it constantly. This is what I really want to do with my life, I think. And I really appreciate the support. Unfortunately, it's the type of job where you kind of need this community support. Maybe not, unfortunately. But I have felt more and more like I have the support of a community, and that honestly is what has kept me going, because it's really can be discouraging sometimes to like look at the analytics and be like, oh, you know, when I started streaming every day, I would maybe only get like 2 or 3 people on average, and now we have 10 more people than that, you know, like, and just to see that there is some growth and people who come back every day like yourselves. Oh my goodness, my Martin, thank you so much for donating. It keeps me like really encouraged, you know, like the fact that you're here every day and you come back and it makes me feel like I'm doing something right. Keep going. Thank you, my Martin. I'm definitely going to keep going so long as I am physically able to do it. And it really, again, it just like, if I kept getting like 0 followers, or like there was like no growth or no encouragement from people like yourself, then I might have given up, you know. But all the signs keep telling me like, okay, you should keep going. You should keep going. People feel as though this is something that is of value, you know. So like I should keep doing it. And the fact that the trolls are coming faster and more furiously is also encouraging. You know, like if you're building community and standing up for issues that you believe in, and you're also pissing a lot of people off. Oh my goodness. Y'all are making me blush, for real. Thank you so much, Lady Deathstrike. Oh my god, we're already 47% of the way to the new goal. Thank you. I really, really appreciate that. Hearts all around. I'm gonna do like the K-pop thing here and be like, it means you're making an impact. Yeah, I honestly feel like I am. So thank you so much. Like, it means a lot to feel like I'm making an impact, right? Like, that's what we all want also, is that in our lives, in our work, to feel like it is valuable and you're making an impact on the world. It's part of the human experience. So thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much for the validation. We all need validation sometimes, you know? You enjoy my positive vibe. Thank you, Purple Mavis. My family makes fun of me for watching Twitch so much. Know what? Let them, you know? I'm glad that, like, when I imagine that I would be a streamer, I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna have like so many like students and like young people watching my show, and that didn't end up being the reality. It ended up being a more diverse audience than I expected, especially in terms of like age, you know? And you know what? I'm really kind of like happy with that, because like I thought I needed to reach young people, but I think building a community that isn't really just for a certain demographic has really like helped me like broaden my own ideas of what I thought streaming would be like. I can't handle the news without the chill vibes. Yeah, thanks, Antifer. Yeah, so, you know, when you think of people who watch Twitch, you usually think of like a teenage boy who like is watching video games, you know? So, you know, it's probably, I'm glad your family is like teasing you, hopefully in like a healthy way, right? Just like that you probably spend more time than the young people in your family like watching Twitch. That's how it started, and now it's so much more. Yeah, it's been really interesting to know that I would reach people, you know, and our community would be like defined by different people than I originally imagined. Your kids watch YouTube and TikTok? True. It's like, why are you making fun of me for learning what's going on in the world? Yeah. I make fun of them for playing Genshin Impact, so we're even. Yes, Genshin Impact it's not a good game. That's good. I'm glad you can fire back. Genshin Impact. Okay, wait. If Angel Riot was here, they would be making fun of me for making fun of Genshin Impact. For me, it's just not for me, you know? It's how so? I've never played it, so I might not be in the right here. For me, it's like the art style. It's a bit of like the art style of Genshin Impact. It's like anime art style. You know, it's like, let me see if I can find some gameplay. I feel like it's very like basic gameplay that is designed to be addictive. And I don't know. I don't even know enough about it to like make fun of it, but it's also just like it's a genre that is basically like Final Fantasy ripoff as well. I love anime and manga too. It's just that I don't like this specific like art style of anime. I guess it looks like this in game. I don't know. I don't even know why I have a negative impression of Genshin Impact. It's like I don't even know how to properly talk shit about Genshin Impact. It's like this is like the gameplay, right? My concern too, isn't it like considered like a loot box game where like you have to like pay money in order to like get items and stuff? So I do worry about its like addictive nature in that sense, because it's a free game, right? It's free to play, but they make money. They make a lot of money somehow. So I'm kind of against that. I have a history of not liking art. What are you talking about? I just don't like this particular art style. Maybe it's because it's from China. What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? I'm biased against Chinese anime? That honestly could be it though. Stories that last longer than 30-second sound bites. Just in games. I know, Ribbert. Thanks for teasing me. I appreciate that. Like, actually, I don't know. Maybe the art style is not as bad as I thought. It's just like really clean. I don't know why. It's like too clean. Let's see. Should we try to find gameplay? 12 minutes of gameplay. Here we go. This is Genshin Impact. So you run around. It's basically Final Fantasy, right? It's like Final Fantasy if it was free and you had to buy things in the game. I'm sure it's really fun though. I'm sure if you got into it, it'd be really fun. I'm just a hater, all right? I'm just a hater. If it's popular, then you literally have to watch this every day. Oh, really? Like in your like family room? For me, like I tried to even like start a game like this recently and I just couldn't get into it. If I was a kid, I would probably be into this. Let's be real. I was into like very similar games as a kid. I just felt as though like the genre kind of got stale. And I don't know. I just grew up, I guess. I used to love these style of games. What was the one I loved? Sky Pirates? JRPG? Oh yeah, this was my jam. This was my jam as a kid. Skies of Arcadia Legends. For the Nintendo GameCube. Pretty much the exact same game. Except like 15 years earlier. The battle style was much different though. And I mean really, you know, JRPGs kind of peaked at like Final Fantasy 6. Like this was probably more my style of JRPG at the time. And they actually put a lot of effort into like these stories. The storylines were like really well written. I'm sure it's still fine in this day and age, but it seems like they don't quite put the care into these games anymore. Games like Genshin Impact are like a dime a dozen now. Like there's so many of them in that like genre. It's kind of like oversaturated, you know, and they all just want to try to make money from selling you in-game items. So it's not even so much about the storyline. It's about how can we sell in-game items. I love that our generation as it ages will say, man, you kids don't get it. The JRPGs today just aren't what they used to be. Yeah, that'll be my old man rants. Instead of like what did our parents say? They're like, you know, these washers, they don't make them like they used to when it comes to like washers and drying machines. Oh yeah, movies used to be good. Music used to be good. Music used to be art, not like this rap that you kids are listening to these days. You know, and then I'm like, you know what? They used to make they don't make JRPGs like they used to. Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna get more shit from your family now that I'm insulting Genshin Impact. I'm sorry, my Martin. They will hold that against you. Okay. Fair. You know what we should do? We should start playing Genshin Impact. We should get really good at Genshin Impact on this channel. And then, like, find your kids in the game and, like, steal all their loot or something. It's true. Washing machines would last 10 to 15 years. Exactly. And JRPGs used to be good. Old guy JRPG guild. Yes, let's start it. Let's start it up. The really annoying thing is like you'll watch like the Nintendo Direct and then like 10 of the new games coming out are all like anime style JRPGs. It's like there's honestly just like an AI that like makes JRPGs now. I will admit that the battle system has kind of improved. Like instead of turn-based, did get pretty boring. So now that they have like live action turn-based essentially, is good. I guess for me though, I prefer like Ni no Kuni. Of which, is there a new one? Wait, there's a Ni no Kuni anime? Like this was a very similar game as Genshin Impact in terms of battle system. Except the artwork was done by Studio Ghibli. I never played the sequel though. Pokemon Sleep has not come out yet? What's that? Pokemon Sleep? Let's watch.
To the world of Pokemon Sleep. Your adventure takes place on a small island. On this island, you'll find great big Snorlax. And
Obviously, the most sleepy of all the sleepy Pokemon.
Professor Neroli, who is researching Pokemon Sleep. It's easy to play on this island. All you have
It's
to
an
do
app?
is get a good night's sleep. If you leave your smartphone by your pillow when you go to bed, your sleep will be measured, recorded, and analyzed.
Wow. They're gonna spy on you when you're sleeping. Today's sleep time, alarm. Oh, wow. It's probably gonna take up so much phone battery.
Once that's done, it will be categorized into one of 3 sleep types: dozing, snoozing, or slumbering.
Okay.
Pokemon that tend to sleep in the same way as you did will gather around Snorlax. As you keep this up, you might even discover some rare in-game sleep styles that most will never see.
Rare in-game sleep styles.
It seems that each species of
Goofy
Pokemon
sleep.
has several sleep styles.
Droopy-eared sleep.
Get lots of sleep and try to
One-eared.
find them all.
One-eyed sleep. Okay.
Enjoy going to sleep and waking up each day as you research the sleep styles of Pokemon together with Snorlax.
Amazing. Nintendo will stop at nothing. It's like, what if we got kids to use their phones while they're sleeping? And we collected their data. I really have to go to the washroom again, but I will be right back. Oh, bye, girl. All right, all right. Okay, we got one more story for today. And then I gotta go. Conservatives are losing their goddamn minds once again over their most popular subject, women's sports. If you didn't know, conservatives are obsessed with women's sports, and they care almost exclusively about women's sports. This most recent debacle is over women's basketball. And it's actually really exciting because there are women playing basketball. And this is news to a lot of people. Personally, I really like watching women's basketball. It's kind of like watching women's tennis to me. It's like it's better than the men's version, especially college basketball. I think it's really exciting, and conservatives are losing as I said, their goddamn minds over this picture of a basketball player taunting another basketball player. If you don't understand what's going on here, it's not a gun. It's not a gun. They're pointing to their finger and they're saying, this is where the ring is going to be after we win this championship college basketball game. Now, if you are unaware with basketball, it's a sport. And when you play any sport very competitively, there tends to be trash talking. Basketball is especially known for its trash talking, and somehow conservatives have lost their mind over this. This is Angel Reese is the player here pointing to their finger, and Caitlin Clark. Now, this story is really interesting because, of course, it's not just about basketball. It's about racist ass, sexist ass conservatives losing their mind over nothing. And this is all just normal behavior. So this is Angel Reese saying that all year I was criticized for who I was. I didn't fit the narrative. Reese said, I don't fit the box that y'all want me to be in. I'm too hood. I'm too ghetto. Y'all told me that all year when other people do it and y'all don't say nothing. So this is for the girls that look like me, for those who want to speak up for what they believe in. It's unapologetically you, and that's what I did before tonight. It was bigger than me tonight, and Twitter is going into a rage every time. So Reese is 6'3", and you can see on their Twitter account they use this hashtag Tall Girl Twitter, and I think part of why some conservatives are so mad is because they're not as tall, and they just cannot fathom this idea that there's somebody out there who's a black woman who is standing above them and looking down upon them. It really triggers their complex of having to hold power over people as that they feel are lesser than them. So I was just trying to get, okay, so the other player, Caitlin Clark. Now, apparently these players are like very good. Caitlin Clark is kind of like the leading scorer of the league. It's this girl right here. She does not have a problem with anything that happened. She said, I was just trying to get to the handshake line and shake hands and be grateful that my team was in that position, Clark said. All the credit in the world to LSU. They were tremendous. They deserve it. They had a tremendous season. So even the other player who is getting taunted in this case is not really affected by talking shit. You know why? Because she probably talks a bunch of shit herself. And that's what is the other thing that is breaking brains, is that they can't imagine the white woman to be acting in a similar way as the black woman. So really interesting here. Reese said her gestures, Caitlin Clark is a hell of a player for sure, but I was in my bag. I was in my moment. I feel like I've helped grow women's basketball this year. I'm super happy and excited, Reese said. I don't care about anybody else and what they have to say about me. I don't care to be all American. I really like this quote. I don't care to be all American. I really like that. I don't care to be be defensive player of the year. The biggest goal is to be a national champion, and that's what I did. So, everyone is talking about this. Here is the moment that broke people's brains.
And Angel Reese knows a ring is coming.
So, that's it. That is it. She did the John Cena, you can't see me, and she pointed to her ring finger because the ring was coming, because they're champions. They're just relishing in their own glory. So, of course, people very hypocritically said, like, is all that necessary, humble in victory? And as it turns out, she was actually making fun of the other player for doing that exact same thing. Apparently this is like Caitlin Clark's thing that she's done, and that's why Angel Reese did this John Cena "you can't see me" gesture. And you know what? Who cares? Like, who even cares? But apparently a lot of people care when it's a black woman doing it. And we have Keith Olbermann here, who I've no idea who they are, but they have 1 million followers on Twitter. I guess they have some sort of podcast. Says, "What a fucking idiot," to this exact clip that we just watched. "Doesn't matter the gender, the sport, the background. You're seconds away from a championship and you do something like this and overshadow all the good. Mindless, classless. And what kind of coach does this team have?" Well, the short answer there is a championship winning coach. And Samuel Jackson coming in here. "Thanks for reminding us what Lil Dick energy actually is, Keith." And just obliterating Keith Olbermann. And he's here just like imagine getting like ratioed out of the water like this and then coming back with something that only got 14 likes. "Yes, Sam, I already trashed Clark in the podcast and in tweet 2 of the thread, but go on." And it's like, okay, so he does, because he realized that he's getting obliterated for this. He comes out with a statement and he says, "I apologize for being uninformed last night about the backstory on this. I don't follow hoops, college or pro, men or women. I had no idea about Clark. Both were wrong." So this is honestly amazing, because we have I assume this person is a conservative at the very least, like they're a reactionary, right? And basically just saying like, "Oh yeah, I don't even care about basketball. I don't care about women's basketball. I don't care about college basketball, pro basketball. I don't care about men's basketball. I don't care about women's basketball." But that's the exact point, is that people will lose their minds and they don't even care. It's the same with like transgender women competing in sports. People don't even care, but they will do whatever to get a quick hit on Twitter or whatever. Like, they'll say whatever they need to say because they're absolute like idiots, you know? Keith Olbermann is an American news commentator, usually thought of as American center left. Oh, really? But big on decorum, etc. Okay. Well, I mean, American center left is like far right everywhere else, I guess. So really, that is odd, but I mean, wow. Like, as I said, definitely a reactionary. So people are saying like, the thing is, this is never a big deal. This is behavior that happens like literally every day in the NBA, right? When there's men engaging in trash talking, nobody thinks twice. But now he's coming out with this statement and saying they're both wrong, and like women shouldn't act this way. And the most obvious criticism here is just like it's just like reeks of a double standard, reeks of sexism. If he doesn't want to see people talking trash in professional sports, then he can just turn off the TV. And apparently he never even turns on the TV. So like we know actually that this person, Keith Olbermann, does not care. So Angel Reese is like basically winning this moment like so hard. You can just tell by like seeing a couple of their tweets that they are a super star, you know, but they're also like super at like not giving any fucks. Like, and you kind of just like love to see it, you know? So here's someone saying Angel got all these politicians mad, and she really do. They are big mad. And she had a little spot here as well.
I'm happy. I mean, all year I was critiqued about who I was. The narrative, I don't fit the narrative. I don't fit in the box that y'all want me to be in. I'm too hood, I'm too ghetto. Y'all told me that all year. But when other people do it, y'all don't say nothing. So this was for the girls that look like me, that's gonna speak up on what they believe in. It's unapologetically you. And that's what I did it for tonight. This was for the more than, it was bigger than me tonight. It was bigger than me. Twitter is going to go in a rage every time. And I mean, I'm happy. I feel like I've helped grow women's basketball this year. I'm super happy and excited. So I'm looking forward to celebrating in the next season. I'm happy.
Amazing. You know, you can tell actually like she's getting really emotional there. And it is important to just unapologetically be yourself. And you love to see it. You love to see it. Crazy to me that anyone would melt down and take away from this amazing moment. Keith Olbermann also said sexist things about World Baseball Classic. Good morning, Miyoshi. Yeah, clearly they are a sexist idiot, reactionary. I would be really surprised actually to find out if they were even center left. I would definitely categorize them as a conservative with a reaction like this. And you know what? Keith Olbermann was not the only one. There were plenty of people trying to like make an issue out of this on Twitter and across social media. The great part is whenever somebody does something like this, they get absolutely destroyed. And it's great to see Angel Reese dunk on them. You know, they say that women's basketball is not fun because there's no dunking. Well, I guess now there is, because all the dunking is taking place live in real time on twitter.com. Good morning, Miyoshi. I hope you are well. I think it's the whole respectability politics things that gives the context, but I don't know. I know, but it's sports. It's not like it was like the Olympics even. It was just like college sports. Like, yes. And like this is what happens in the NBA like every day. Nobody bats an eye, right? Like it's just very normal behavior. And let's be real. It was the racial element. Oh, why Keith O would be considered left at all. Oh, true. Right. That's respectability politics is so stupid though. Like you should not in this day and age, especially of like social media, you need to be aggressive. Like obviously, you know, I guess one thing I didn't mention in this rant too, like this is obviously a racial issue, right? Like, you know, it's like they saw a black girl winning, and I guess I did mention it, but you know, they saw a black girl winning and then conservatives were like, we can't have this. It's 2023 and people are still losing their mind that there's black people winning in basketball. It's like, wait, y'all are not used to black people being good at basketball yet? Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Where have you been? I thought we were just used to being the inferior race when it came to ballin'. Yeah, so in their minds, she forgot her place. True. Yes. That was exactly it, really. Like, imagine living your life like this and being like upset about something that you saw on the internet in this way, you know? Like, it's just so sad. Okay, wait, I saw Genshin Impact was trending. Was it? Or did it just like it is. Did I just search it and then it's like, oh, this guy likes Genshin Impact? I'd imagine Genshin Impact is like always trending. Is it a coincidence that Genshin Impact gets shortened to GI, aka gastrointestinal? Also not very ladylike. Yeah, I know. It's just like so many layers of like racism and misogynistic behavior. It's ridiculous. I love how badly that people are getting ratioed for it though. All right, I have to get going. It is just after 11. I put so much work in with the video editing now that it takes a bit more time. So try to end stream around 11 o'clock and just try to go. Oh, the crossword. All right. Well, we have to do the crossword. Let's see. Yes, we forget every time. I love it. Good job, Ribert. All right. A new crossword, new theme. Should I remind at 10:45? Just whenever I have forgotten, that's when you should remind me. Like whenever I'm like, all right, bye everyone, and be like, crossword. I feel like that's the funniest time to remind me. Okay, yeah, me day destination is probably spa. It's always spa in these crosswords. Slung stuff. Full court tactic. Got a little basketball reference here to stay on theme. 2 down. Zit cream is pus. Good job, my Martin. Getting this little joke here. Zit cream. Be bedridden. Fall into decay. Refine as metal. I know that is kind of gross, isn't it? Is smelt. I think that's right. Podcast interruptions or Twitch interruptions if you're not subscribed. Is our ads, which means slung stuff is mud. Be bedridden. Fall into decay. Nice round number. Question mark? Nice round number. Question mark? And blank de Janeiro. Fall into decay is rot. Oops, that's probably right. We got blank de Janeiro. Should be easy. Is Rio. Nice round number. Full court tactic. Be bedridden. It's a full court press, that's right. And now think of a nice round of golf. Maybe. To give it away, the answer here is par. That's right. Par for the course. Good job, everyone. Easy. Easy. Mondays are easy. That's right. I really like that clue. Nice round number. That was fun. Thanks for the show. Hey, thanks for coming, Bunny Rabbit. Wish you didn't have to work for the rest of the week because we like having you here. But we all gotta work. Can't really do your job from home. The question mark was a good clue. Yes. Question mark indicates that it's a play on words. Or it has a double meaning. All right. Who are we rating? Let's see who else is streaming. Let's see. Tina is starting her stream. and we haven't rated them in a while. Wardeer is streaming. I think they do a lot of like pop culture stuff. Well, let's raid Tina because we haven't rated them in a long time. Looks like they're watching maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene on 60 Minutes, which apparently, yeah, I saw some people talking about that. I didn't look into that. But they're just starting and we're just ending. So why don't we head over there? Thank you, everyone. Really fun stream. Thank you so much. I always love doing this, and I couldn't do it without you. So let's throw some My Homie Tutaro emojis for Tina in this little raid. We got 5 viewers. Anybody else want to go on this raid? I will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much, chat. Have fun watching Genshin Impact later. Bye.
Trailer Park Boys. Hey, thank you for the raid.